Welcome to another episode of A&O Connect with Andre.
All right. So looks like we're live. All right. We are live. We are live. It looks like we are. So welcome to tonight, A&O Connect. And we are excited to be here with you all. Today, we're going to talk about something that I don't think a lot of people really deal with, and that is healing. Mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, really healing before getting in a relationship, or if you're already in a relationship, taking time to heal. So, Andre, you wanted to play a song, and if you can just go ahead and play that song now, turn it up so they can hear it. We do not own the rights to this song. This song is from our American Idol, Jamal. But we love it because it speaks to the things that we need to do more of, and that is heal. All right, go ahead.
Mama and take the pain like an empty bottle to fix the rain and heal, heal, and take my past and take my sins like an empty cell takes and heal, until we things last and tell me tell me something else, because heal, heal.
So, why did you want to play that tonight?
Um, the song, if you listen to it and listen to how he sang it, the emotion of it, the connection to it, you can tell it was a personal story. And if you really get into the words, the feel of it, the meaning of it, it really makes you reflect on healing.
Yeah.
And it may even have you ask yourself, am I truly healed?
Right.
So it's like a cry for healing. It was like a presentation of a personal story, and you can feel his connection to it. And sometimes we don't feel a connection to what's relevant in our lives. So that song, to me, he delivered it well. It meant something to him, and it did something for us.
Yeah.
So just felt like it was a perfect song to play for the subject that we chose to talk about tonight, which was healing.
So when I think about healing, We'll talk about us until we get some people on to ask questions and share their experiences. But we think about where we started from. Both of us came into this relationship broken. We had some hurt that we hadn't dealt with, some hurt from either, personal or relationship wise. And a lot of times, our family, I know growing up in our family, it was basically what happens in our house stays in our house. We don't talk about it. It was more of you kind of overlooked it. Nobody really wanted to just sit and have conversations about what happened. It was basically ignore it and sweep it under the rug. And you never got an opportunity to learn how to deal with that type of stuff. So you carry it on, or you put it in the back of your subconscious and you try to bury it so deep. But what I've learned is that pain, that hurt, that unforgiveness, it still lingers on and it manifests in some type of way. So again, I'll talk about us. Came into a relationship. I was young when we met. I was 20 when we met, and I had a lot of anger and seeing toxic relationships growing up and even being molested at a young age by a family member. It was a lot of anger, a lot of bitterness. And I really didn't know what to do with all that. It was just bottled up all in me. And I didn't know how to talk about it. I didn't know how to share it. I didn't know anything. I was like, okay, here I am. What am I going to do with all these emotions? So I would act out. I would get very angry. I remember even having a hat that said trouble on it, because every time I went somewhere, it was trouble, right? But no one taught me how to, one, forgive, two, to talk through those things that really hurt me. So I'm bringing all of my damage and hurt into our relationship. And I would just like to know if you can just take a moment and just think about going backwards and just even dealing with me and some of my emotions and my attitude and all that stuff. How did it feel? What did it look like from your point of view, from the outside looking in? Because again, I was dealing with it internally and didn't know how to bring it out or even talk about it. You was actually seeing it in action.
For me, also being in a place of brokenness and trying to show genuine care and concern for someone else, started off as friends and things, escalated. But I don't know, it was a feeling of trying to reach someone in a different way, their heart. But all you can touch is the surface. And every time they feel you're getting close to the true person, the heart of the matter, they push back. They push you away. And you don't understand it because you're trying to relate. You're trying to connect. You're trying to be a friend. You're trying to be available. You're trying to be there for them. But only you can do so much. They don't let you go so far. So you feel like there's a barrier. You feel that barrier.
Right.
But you don't understand it because that person has not let you in to even talk about it.
Right.
So a lot of times we go through life not understanding what we see, not understanding what somebody's going through or the depth of it to know how to relate to them. And it can turn into feelings of saying whatever, I'm not dealing with it, this is too much for me, but we leave that person where they are. So what love really does, it allows you to see through some things.
Yeah.
And even if you can't get to it right away, you still make yourself available as much as you can until the point that person just says, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. But, for me, I hung in there, um, was eventually able to talk to you
Yeah.
when I got to that point of, okay, it's either yes or no. And I came and talked to you. I said, if you don't let me in, I have to walk away because I don't know what else to do, know what else to say, how else to do it. And I need to know what this is. I need you to let me in. And if I can't get to a certain level, then I can't stay like this. Because I'm going through something as well while you're going through something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus dealing with my own things.
Right.
But trying to relate to you, and I really couldn't the way I really wanted to.
Right.
So I wanted to understand. I wanted to care. Always concerned. But there's only so much you can say and do if somebody's not letting you in or including you. So you opened up. You explained a little bit of things to me, and it was a better understanding.
Yeah, it was hard though, because again, you when you're in a relationship, sometimes you don't trust, especially if you've been hurt before. It's hard for you to trust somebody when you've been hurt before. And again, you talked about the barrier. You could feel the barrier that I had, that wall that I had up. It was because I ain't trust nobody. Because the people that I was supposed to trust, the people that were supposed to take care of me, those are the people that hurt me. So it's like that's what you learn, that learned behavior of I got to protect myself, right? And a lot of people, again, go into relationships unhealed, and that affects the relationship because there will be times where I'm gonna be very transparent with y'all. Um, Hold on one second. I'm looking at the live and it's looking a little blurry. Can y'all talk to me? Whoever's out there, does it look blurry to you? Look blurry to me. Put in the chat. Let me know if it's looking blurry or not. Look blurry to me. Is it blurry or is it good for you all? Nobody don't know. Okay, we're gonna keep going. But I can just recall just having not really knowing how to have conversations, not really knowing who to trust. So as we grew up, to your point, I did share a little bit, but the actual healing came when I learned how to, one, forgive. Because I was holding on to a lot of unforgiveness. And that is something that we carry in relationships as well. Unforgiveness. When you don't forgive for whatever wrong somebody else has done, when you hold that on, you're doing a disservice to yourself, and you're doing a disservice to your person that you're in a relationship with. So I had to learn one unforgiveness, and then had to get some help into how to work through my emotions and make sure that I was being a better person because it was a domino effect. I want to pause right now because you talked about how you was going through your own stuff. So can you talk a little bit about just a little bit about your stuff that you carried on and the things you didn't really get healed from prior to coming into a relationship?
Hmm. Hmm. Mine was more of a broken relationship
Mm,
and not really knowing how to deal with conflict resolution,
yeah.
not being taught, not really having a consistent male figure in my life to encourage me, to lead me, and to show me things.
Yeah.
A lot of things I did, being an only child, I did on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I had to figure some things out. Going to church helped a little bit, but there was nobody really there for me personally the way I needed them to be, whether because I was seemed standoffish or whatever it may be. That's how it was. So when this situation happened, I felt again I was by myself
Mm-hmm.
and trying to figure things out, which is very difficult. So
Yeah.
When you're dealing with pain, children, just life in general, the big picture of life, and
Mm-hmm.
everything included, sometimes it can feel like a heavy weight, not just on your heart, but just in general, things to deal with and not knowing how to really navigate
Right.
in the right way. So for me, it was more of navigating, misunderstanding,
Mm-hmm.
and seeking that understanding of what was really going on and where I was headed. So I think I just needed a little guidance,
Right.
another male to be there for me and with me to say, hey, just maybe ask some questions. But didn't really get that. But as we all say, but God,
Mm.
that's what kept me through that season. That's what kept me my roots.
Right.
It took me back to when my mom and my grandmother took me to church. And even though at a young age I didn't want to be there, they put me in a choir, I couldn't sing, just little things you don't want to do when you're a kid. But I stuck with it until I was 16, 17. So I went to the military. And in those moments, you don't realize it's a foundation.
Mm.
And it's something to look back and hold on to in the time of trouble, when you don't understand, when you're in pain, when it seems like nobody else is there, or nobody understands what you're going through. But God is there because you have that foundation of faith. Because somebody not only just took you to church, they got you involved.
Right.
Did some youth groups and Sunday school and had some really good teachers. Was able to connect with younger people and some the same age. So that foundation, everything that you take in and take on in life, you may not understand why it's happening now or the impact that it has at the moment. But sometimes it'll help you later on in life in a way you don't think it can help you. Because it wasn't for that foundation, it wasn't for my belief and my faith and somebody taking me to church and getting some understanding of what it was about, I don't know how I would have responded to that season in my life. And I don't know the outcome. But I thank God for it. I thank my grandmother, my mother for it, and those who just helped me along the way in my spiritual walk and my spiritual journey.
Okay. You didn't give us all of it, but that's okay. So when you think about healing, why is it important to do that one before you jump into a relationship? Because I know for both of us, looking at where we are today and just taking a step back and with the knowledge that we have, you know, if we had an opportunity to go backwards, we really would have spent some time really working on self, working on, all the things that we were struggling with and, the pain that we both carried into a relationship. How do we deal with this first before bringing somebody else into the equation when it comes to a relationship? So why is it important to heal prior to the relationship? And then I have a follow-up question.
Mm-hmm. It's not only important, it's critical. It's almost like having an open wound and never treating it.
Right.
And it almost feels, you ever had a cut, you put alcohol in and it burns.
Yeah.
And you never really treat it properly. And it doesn't heal properly.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we think we're healed because we feel better. Some people say time heals all pain, and not everything applies to everyone. Because a lot of times we move on, but we don't release.
Right.
And it stays with us.
And
it always seems to catch up in those quiet moments.
Yeah.
It always seems to catch up with us when there's a trigger from that person you're with that reminds you. So you think you've moved on and you see something, or somebody may say something or do something that you didn't like with another person that led to the demise of the relationship. And it takes your mind back and it does something to your heart. That it's a memory that
Mm.
didn't feel good,
Yeah.
didn't end well.
Yeah.
So the way you deal with those things, you have to first recognize what it is,
Right.
and come to terms with it. This is
Mm-hmm.
what happened. This is what I have not dealt with, and it's something I need to deal with. But
Yeah.
it has to start internally.
Mm. I like what you said and how you related it to a wound, because the wound is the hurt, right? And you talked about the alcohol, you pour alcohol on it burns. But I even think about like how we cover things up. So you cover this wound up, but you're not taking care of it. It's just you got a band-aid over it, but you will never change that band-aid. You'll never change the gauze on it or the draping on it. So there's an infection that starts to seep in, and that infection takes root in your heart. And to your point, if you don't address whatever that hurt is and you're carrying it with you, you're doing damage. You're doing damage with your relationship, whomever you are in a relationship with. You're doing damage to your kids, whether you think you are or not, because that's how them generational curses keep going on and on and on and on and on. Is because we have not healed from the past hurt that people have hurt us, but we have not forgiven people. So I think about that, and that's, oh wow, when you said that, I'm like, ooh, I had an infection, and my infection was spreading not only to different people that I was connected with, but to my own spirit, because I was angry and bitter and really just mad almost all the time. And I spent a lot of years being in that mode. So when that forgiveness came, ooh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. And that forgiveness came. And that's why I try not to get mad all the time. I do get upset sometimes, but I try not to address the issue. That's why now I want to talk about it. I want to get it out. I don't want to sweep it under the rug. I want to talk about what it is. Even if we don't agree, that's fine. But we can't keep this hidden. We got to address it, because if I keep it in, it goes back to that wound. We're not addressing it. We're not taking care of it. We're not changing that bandage. We're not getting the right antibiotics, and therefore that infection spreads. So thank you for that analogy. Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you have anything to add to that? So the follow-up question was, so that's before a relationship. So what if you in a relationship? You knee deep in that relationship, you in love, but you have not healed from past relationship or past hurt, past trauma, all that stuff. It could be any of those things. You haven't healed, but you're in a relationship. Why is it important to heal? Even in the midst of a relationship. You didn't do it prior, but now you're in it. Why is it important to heal?
In a relationship, if you have not healed, whatever still remains is occupying some space.
Ooh. Break that down, please.
I heard you say you're in love.
Mm-hmm.
It might just be one love, because the rest of you is not fully present, because it's being occupied and distracted by what remains from the fact that you have not healed.
Sure.
So you cannot completely give more when you already have separated your feelings
right
for the sake of functioning in another relationship.
Right.
So what you do is you take a certain part of you, your mind, your time, your thoughts, whatever it may be, and you allow this, whatever those things are, to occupy that space without talking about it.
Right.
You may think about it. You may be reminded of it. And it's okay to think, to be reminded, but how you respond is important.
Right.
So if it allows you to be impacted to the point of shutting down
Mm-hmm.
when there's a memory of it, when somebody else does something, they're not the same person.
Mm-hmm.
And their intentions might not be the same
Right.
as the other person when they did something similar. But because that thing is still occupying that space
Yes.
in your mind and your heart, it's going to feel
Mm-hmm.
like they meant the same thing. It's
Yeah.
going to look like the same thing. And you're going to react the same way.
That's true.
You may shut down. You may get an attitude. You may start an argument. You might lose your cool. And that person's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
All I said was this.
Mm-hmm.
But to them, it wasn't just that. It's that space that I had reserved.
Mm.
So it's like, how you go to an event and they say some tables have been reserved for certain people.
Mm-hmm.
And you come up and somebody's sitting there. It's not supposed to be.
Mm.
And you're like, this table was reserved for so-and-so. Why are you sitting here? That's the same thing. When you leave that space available for those certain things, it's reserved for that person and that
Right.
purpose, for that past. But then when this newness comes, it connects.
Mm.
And it's a confrontation.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like they left this space for me.
Mm.
So when you touch that reserved space,
Mm.
when you go into that space they think they have separated themselves from, it causes conflict.
So let's okay. So when you talk about the reserved space, are you talking about that other person that you may have been in a relationship with?
Those things that happen.
Or those things that have happened can come back, and it's still, I know it's occupying space, right? I was thinking about how unresolved issues or unresolved relationships or unresolved healing,
Right.
how when you talk about reserving that space, that relationship or those thoughts of that person can creep up in dreams. They can creep up in when that trigger you talked about. It can creep up. I see a couple of people join us. Hey, Addie. Hey, Tanya.
So that's important what you just said.
Yeah.
Because somebody out there don't understand why their current
Mm.
keeps going back to their ex.
That's why.
There's unresolved issues,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a spirit of familiarity.
Ooh.
All wasn't bad,
Mm-hmm.
but it got to a point where it may have been unbearable.
That's true.
So the memories, the thoughts,
the dreams,
even when the current may get on the nerves and remind them of that person,
mm-hmm.
they may even say, I could have just stayed where I was.
If I knew this, I could have just stayed with
such
and such.
So now you're thinking, okay, did I make the right decision?
Mm-hmm.
Was it all that bad?
Mm-hmm.
See how the enemy plays tricks on your mind.
Yeah.
To make you think that wasn't so bad at all.
Right.
And it keeps you from moving on.
It
keeps
does.
You in a stuck state to where you think you can go back and make it work. And you forgot all about how bad it really was to your heart, to your health, and to your livelihood.
You bring up a good point, because oftentimes that same reason why we haven't healed, we haven't forgave, we haven't let go, we bring that stuff into a new relationship, and then again that person starts showing signs that the other person that you left, and you go back to this person, you invite this person back in, and
because some time has gone by.
It goes back to the conversation we had with the settlement. We go back and we start settling. We start settling for
what
was.
But the main thing is, since time has gone by, it's a few reasons why people try to check back in. I'll put it that way. Because time has gone by, they want to see, how they doing now. Or maybe because they see somebody else in that space they used to occupy.
That part.
And then the pride kicks in, the jealousy. You want that person treating them better. If they love that person more. There's just so many things that hit your mind with an ex or with something that didn't work. and it draws you back. Because now when you see somebody else, you think you got to go back and prove yourself, not realizing all the time you had, you didn't take advantage of it.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question, a comment in here. Addie made a comment. She said, "Yes, that's where I'm in currently. I keep thinking, did I make the right decision knowing my relationship of 15 years was just to have somebody and no one, I'm sorry, let me read that again. Yes, that's where I am currently. I keep thinking, did I make the right decision knowing my relationship of 15 years was just to have someone and no love there anymore? Oh, yeah, yeah.
So,
Talk about that.
goes back to settling.
Mm,
And even deeper than that, it goes back to not being confident in yourself,
yes.
not trusting yourself, but being able to move on and trusting God, if that's what your belief system is, to give you more. Because you deserve more, you deserve better.
Yes.
But because of that spirit, that connection that you have with this person, they can say some things and make you feel like nobody else wants you. Nobody else will love you the way I do. Nobody else is going to do this particular thing the way I do. And you'll think about that. See, the mind, if something gets to your mind, it gets to your heart, it's very powerful.
Yes.
It can get you stuck in a place and with the person, and all they're doing is reaping the benefits of what you have.
That's true.
So when there's no more love, what else is there to get other than benefits? I mean, you may cook, clean, they may use your car, you may pay some of their bills, whatever. You may be on their phone bill, their phone contract, whatever it may be. There's benefits to staying where there's no love. And some people just get comfortable being uncomfortable, if that even makes sense at all.
Yeah.
So you have to love yourself. You have to look deep within and say, you know what? Is this what I really want?
Yes.
Is this what I want to wake up to every single day? And do I deserve more? Am I more? Am I more than this?
Yeah.
And you have to love yourself enough to release what's not relevant in your life, what's no longer or may have never been relevant in your life.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason you allowed it, find another reason to release it.
I love that. And sometimes we have to release people. Again, it goes back to the healing. That person, you're no longer with them. You're no longer settling. And in that space, sometimes we don't give ourselves enough time to just sit in a space by ourselves. We feel like we gotta be connected to somebody. We gotta have a relationship. We gotta be with somebody. We can't be by ourselves. And that is sometimes the best place to be so that you can work on you, so you can get the healing that you need. And to Andre's point, trusting in God, like, and having Him show you who you are, whose you are, and what He has for you. We have our plans, but let me tell you, He got bigger plans for us. While we sitting up and sometimes settling for less than what we deserve, we're blocking the blessing that is waiting for us. But if we put some time and just invest back in you, because that's the thing that we don't do. We don't invest in us. We invest in everybody else. We will invest in everybody else. We'll give them the shirt off our back and leave ourselves naked so that they can have.
That's love.
Wow, that ain't love.
That's not love.
That ain't love. That's sometimes lust. Anyway, but here's the thing: it's so important to take care of you. If you don't take care of you, mind, body, spirit, your mental, you're only giving this person so much. But here's the thing: you're receiving the bare minimum. You're receiving the bare minimum this person can give you. And that's why you got to heal first. Because you don't want to accept any old thing that comes your way. No, you don't want to accept anything that comes your way. So when we got in our relationship, I wish I would have healed from the past hurts. because I think I would. I ain't gonna say I think. I know I would have been a better person if I had took time to say, "Hey, I need some help. I need to get some help. I need to go to a counselor." And there's nothing wrong with going to a counselor, a therapist that can help you work through what's going on in your mind. To help, because to your point, our mind can play tricks on us. The heart can also play tricks on you. The heart is deceptive sometimes. And you really need to work through what those emotions are and how to build up that confidence that you need, right? Because when you do believe in yourself, when you do have that worthiness he talked about, that confidence that he talked about, you're not gonna settle for anything less than what you deserve. And Addie said, "Thank you both. You both answer what I've been seeking as my answer through God that I've asked for." Amen.
Amen.
Love that, Addie. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for joining.
And that's what this is about, right? We want to. We know that there's things that people are struggling with, and we're here to just share again our experiences. But we also want to hear from you. If you have any questions or any comments, we want to connect with you. So I want to toss it over to you and just give the people that are on with us an opportunity to either post some questions that you may have or share some experiences that you have.
Okay. I just want to take time out to say thank you all for joining, taking your time out to be with us, to listen to our journey, and to allow us to share what God has given us for you. It's not a know-all, be-all.
True.
We just share what we have, share what we receive, and we just hope it's impactful. We just hope it's helpful. And we have an email that you can use if you have personal questions. We'll get back to you. This format live, we love it because it's a genuine interaction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's real time.
Yeah.
And, you know, these are the times that when God speaks, we can allow you to hear what he's speaking now.
Right.
So a lot of times we say things that we're led to say. We don't know what we're going to say when we come live.
Right.
So thank you for the opportunity to share with you. And healing is very, very important. And sometimes we are so hard on ourselves. We don't like the way we look.
Yeah.
We're too big, we're too short, we're too tall, we're too small. My nose too big, my lips not big enough, my lips too big. It's always something. So just take a look in that mirror tonight and just say, you know what? God doesn't make mistakes. I look how I look for a reason.
Yeah.
I am who I am for a reason. Because I have purpose.
Yes.
Because I have something inside of me that God has given me to share with the world.
Yeah.
To make it a better place.
Yes.
To even make my life easier. Something you love to do, something that inspires you, your fuel. You know, we pray for so many things. We still have not used what God has given us. We overlook who we are and what we have because we feel bad about what somebody has said about us, the person that we really were attracted to, they were attracted to us, and it doesn't make us feel handsome or pretty. You know, so many things that affect our hearts and our minds that keep us from ourselves.
Yeah.
To keep us from enjoying life. To keep us from contributing to our life or the lives of somebody else.
Yeah.
Because we're stuck in the comments that have been made, even from a child. And the most clever thing the enemy can do is introduce himself to you as a child. Because as a child, you're unaware of who it is.
Yes.
As a child, you're unaware of what it is. Those comments you hear, those things that happen to you, that causes separation anxiety, that causes you to isolate yourself and go run and hide when conflict happens. These things happen as a child. And we never really recognize what it really is. So we go into our adulthood and we take it on. We live with it, saying, this is who I am. This is just how I am. This is just what I do. This is just me. And the enemy saying, you know what?
Got him.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Because you didn't recognize it was me back then. And you don't realize it's me now. And you continue year after year, day after day, with each breath God gives you, to allow that to occupy your heart.
That's it.
To occupy your mind. and you living with less than.
Mm.
God has given you so much. He has
Mm.
done so much for you. He
Mm.
has sacrificed so much for you
Yeah.
to be the true you.
Yeah.
So there's something in you that you can give to this life, to this world, for yourself,
Mm.
and for the betterment of somebody else around you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you refuse to do it because you're listening to the wrong voice
Ooh.
and you're seeing the wrong person in the
Yeah.
mirror. So look in that mirror and say, you know what? I love you. You are unique. You are you. You are me. And let's enjoy this life. What
Mm.
is it that I have inside of me? What did God give me? And what has God done for me
Mm.
personally? Take this
Mm.
thing personally
Yeah.
and just say, you know what? Whatever it is, and who I am right now, I'm going to live.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make God proud. I'm
Mm.
not going to make him feel like all the sacrifices, all the blessings,
Yeah.
all the moments, all the times he protected you and kept you. Don't let him think it's in vain.
Yeah.
Live your life. Do something with your life. Enjoy your life. It's not going to always be easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's all written in the Bible. I won't get into that. We'll be here another hour, but it's promised that you're going to go through some things, but to be of good cheer. God has overcome this world.
Yeah.
Death has no more sting. We're no longer a slave to the things that the enemy has offered us. So you have the power and the strength and the right to take back that territory that you have given of your mind and your heart to something that's not even relevant anymore in your life. So reach out and reach for that power within you and trust what you say you believe. You trust God, you believe in God, live it.
Yeah.
And continue to love, continue to give, continue to live. Because we don't know when that last breath is going to take place in our lives. But I always tell myself every day, I don't want to die full. God has given me so much, and I'm guilty. I have not released what I should have released by now, for whatever the reason is. And I'm working on it today. So a good idea is only an idea if it does nobody else any good.
Mm.
So I can go on and on. Just want to let you know we love you all. We thank you for joining. If there's any way we can help, and I hope something has been said or shared that has encouraged you, strengthened you, inspired you. But look within. That's where your healing is going to start. Look in that mirror and love what you see and live what you see.
I love that you talked about uh, as a child. That's when that seed is planted, and it takes root. And it we used to have the saying, "Sticks and stones might break my bones, but words will never hurt me." Words hurt, and words penetrate because that's what we hear. So things come in the ear gate, right? The eye gate. We see and we hear, and then we take note of those, and those things manifest because we're taking all that stuff in. I was watching something on, I think it was Facebook, and it was someone asked, remember that video I sent you? Someone asked, what do you think the biggest church is? And he talked about the movie theater. He talked about all the things we go and see entertainment. We're on social media, we're looking at entertainment and all that stuff. We don't think it's coming into us, but it is. We start comparing ourselves to people. Oh, this person doing this and this person doing this. We take up a lot of time. You talked about the gift that we have. And I want to give this analogy. So let's say you go shopping for someone and this person is very special to you. You spend hours in the line for this special gift because you know how important this gift is to this person. And you spend the time, you get it. It's exactly what this person wants. It is something that they desire. You wrap it up really pretty and you give it to the person. You're like, man, I can't wait to hear when they see it, they open it. I can't wait to hear, what they're gonna, say. And you wait. A week go by, month go by, you still waiting. A year go by, you still waiting. 2 years go by, you still waiting. You're like, dang, what happened? So when you see that person, You go over their house and you talking to them, and you see that gift that you bought them 2 years ago in the corner, still wrapped up, still pretty, sitting in the corner, still what they desire, but they have not opened it. That's what Andre talking about. God is giving you a gift inside of you. He gave it to you years ago, but it's still wrapped pretty in that package. It's still sitting inside you. You haven't opened it. You haven't used it. The same thing way you would feel if someone didn't appreciate the gift that you spent your time, your money, your investment on. How would you feel if somebody left it sitting on the counter, collecting dust? That's the same thing as how he feels. When he created us and he knew us before we were even in the womb, he built all this talent and this gift and put it all inside of us, and we just sit on it. That's a message for somebody. Stop sitting on your gift. Stop sitting on your gift. I see Tanya said she has been sitting with Sadie. Sadie's watching
my
with
niece
her.
Sadie.
And she said, you both have given her so much confirmation. Thank you. We love you, Sadie.
I love my Sadie.
We love you, Tanya.
Love you, sis.
But just sharing that, when we go back to what our initial topic was, healing. Take time. Whatever you may be going through or have gone through in life, take time to heal. Take time to get help. Connect with somebody. There are a lot of great godly people who can give you godly wisdom and instructions and directions that will help you learn how to heal, help you to reconnect, right? And do all those things that you're supposed to be doing before you get into a relationship, or even when you're in a relationship, because sometimes you're in the relationship. And that's okay too. But get healing while you're in a relationship.
And sometimes God will send someone to help you.
Yes.
So you might think it's just a relationship, but it's actually your help. Someone to see you through, someone to love you in a different way, and to show you what love really feels like. But you have to be receptive.
Yes.
You can't make a connection with the same energy with everybody.
Ooh, you need to break that down a little bit, because I don't think people really understand some of the energy that they carry from one relationship to the other, because it goes back to you saying, I'm just being me. And
that's not working.
It is not. It does not work. You not working on you and improving yourself and just saying, this is who I am. You're going to have to deal with it. You probably don't have a lot of people dealing with you.
And you're not really being you.
Exactly.
Because according to God, that's not who you're supposed to be.
Exactly.
You're living your choice to be that way. And you don't have to be that way. So for all of y'all who are short-fused, always cussing, fussing, complaining, can't get along with people for too long, always angry, something's always wrong, somebody always looking at you funny, check the spirits.
Yeah.
Check what you are hosting. It might not be a party for everybody. This may be you and that spirit having a party all the time. If it don't feel good, check that spirit that you're carrying, that you're hosting. Because it's not everybody around you.
That's
if
true.
You're getting the same reaction every time you go somewhere, guess what? You're always there. You're always the common person there. So it's not everybody bothering you.
Yeah.
It's not everybody talking about you.
Yeah.
It's not everybody that's not liking you or don't want to see you, as we say, come up, whatever it may be. Check yourself. Because it's your energy that's creating this atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it might not even be anything to the atmosphere. You bring that expectation with you. So you see it because you expect it.
That's right.
So anything that happens or anything somebody say, it could be two people talking in the corner. You think they're talking about you. That's what I'm saying. See, that's why I like coming around. You're always talking about, they're not even worried about you. They're not
even thinking about you.
Because of that spirit, because of your mind, because of your heart, because of what you allow to occupy your heart and your mind, you're going to always see what that spirit wants you to see.
Mm.
You're going to always hear what it wants you to hear so it can stay where it is.
Mm.
And you're not aware enough to recognize it so you can release it and to receive the Spirit of God that can lead you and guide you
Mm-hmm.
and help you to heal from the inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop taking all these external things.
Mm-hmm.
Stop all the shopping, the bags, the shoes, the purses, and the whatever else that surface. It can't hide what's on the inside.
That's true.
Because every time there's a quiet moment, every time you're sitting by yourself, it's still there.
Yeah.
What's in you is part of you. And those things are not going to make it go away. That's not healing.
Right.
That's not deliverance. And that's not freedom. You just got a whole bunch of stuff and spent a whole bunch of money.
When you talked about hosting a party, I thought about something, and this was a while back. Somebody talked about how sometimes we host these pity parties, these justified parties. So all those negative connotations, we feel like we justified in hosting this party of, woe is me, all these things, when you have more inside of you, and you have more inside of you. But to Andre's point, that spirit is hosting this party and keeping you bounded, is keeping you stuck. I mean, you definitely gotta hear from that.
So I hope you helped.
Yeah.
In some type of way. Yeah. And my prayer every day is that God will allow us the opportunity to not only represent him, but to present him to someone.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope this helps some kind of way.
Yeah.
And I hope if you have any questions, comments, concerns outside of this podcast, you can reach out to us. Some of you know us personally. Have my number or her number, or Mikio's number. You can call us. But live your life. We all have lost people that are near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah.
And we just hope sometimes that, man, if it was just a few more days, a little more time with that person. But thank God for the memories.
Yeah.
And the time that he has allowed us. But just remember, just like you're missing somebody, somebody's going to be missing you one day.
Exactly.
So what impact are you going to leave? What influence are you going to leave on their lives? Was it going to be good memories or bad memories? That's up to you. So learn how to relate, learn how to connect, but most importantly, make a true connection with the God you say you believe in, if that's what you believe in, and allow him to work from the inside. Yes. So you can release those things and you can receive those things that are of him and from him, and you can live a better life. Not just so necessarily be happy every day, but to be holy, to be more like him. Yeah. To be more calm, to listen more without responding so quickly before you respond all the time, to always feel attacked, to always feel like you're the black sheep of the family, whatever you may be feeling. God loves you. He created you just the way you are, but you've chosen how you want to be. So realize and recognize who God is and who God wants you to be. The only way to do that is to trust him, to accept him, and to love him the way he loves you, and to allow him to be available to him just as he is to you and for you. And I'm done.
All right. Yeah, I know you can go on and on and on. If you want to connect with us, you can definitely see the different areas. You can reach us on the social media sites at ANO Connect. You can reach us on YouTube. You can email us at ANOA in the word and connect at gmail.com. We will be on in the 2 weeks. So we're going to now do it bi-weekly versus every week. And it will most likely be on a Friday. But be in touch. I'll always post on Facebook and social media when we're going to go live. We may do some recorded sessions as well. We like to mix it up a little bit. So we appreciate the live, though, because to Andre's point, it gives us an opportunity to hear from you, to connect with you, to answer questions live, to answer comments live. And it just makes it more realistic for us. So anytime we can do that, we want to be able to share with you all. It's coming from the heart. We're going to share our experiences. We're going to be very transparent and raw with you on some of the things that we've experienced. We don't know all the answers, but we do know some things. And we're always going to ask God to guide us and lead us with the answers that we provide. Now, you will see me get a little hype sometimes because that's just my energy.
Not
and
you.
I will get hype. I get hype about certain things, certain topics.
Passion.
You know, passionate too, but I get hype. So you'll see me get hype. But this is the calm. I'm the storm. He's the calm. So he calms it down a little bit. So that's what we do to complement each other. Andre wants to close us out. And again, thank you so much for coming on, listening. We hope you got something from this, and we'll be back on in 2 weeks. Andre, close out.
And the last thing I have is, if you are contemplating changing your life, if you are contemplating giving God a chance to lead you and guide you, and you say, you know what, I want to give my life to Christ, you can also call us. We can have a conversation, and we can walk you through those steps.
Yeah.
To give your life to Christ, to give up everything that you're doing now, how you are now, what you've been going through now, for the sake of trusting God completely. So for all of you who are out there who may watch this later, that's also something that we look forward to, that somehow, some way, someone's life will be changed by the acceptance of God and Jesus Christ in their lives. So we can also help you with that, if that's what you so desire to do, and that's the life you so desire to live. So I just thank God for all of you, and I pray until next time, he keeps you, he strengthens you, and you are encouraged and inspired by his presence and his spirit. And we love you. And remember,
yeah, we are better together. All right, y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in.
When words were hard to find, we never gave up on love, no, 'cause you made a promise you'll always be mine. Decades of learning what love truly means, so close to quitting, but
Thank you for tuning in.
when words were hard to find, we never gave up on love, no, 'cause you made a promise you'll always